Hey, what's up, everybody? We are live with another speaker announcement for Builders of Authority live on March 13th and 14th. Got this nice new background as well with my head and Sebastian's head on the back of it too. So finally got that hooked up with. But Sam, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm ready. I love your background. The red contrasts well with your beautiful face. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We were just talking about it being a pretty long Wednesday full of calls. So finishing up the day here strong.
yeah, it's I've had coaching calls, discovery calls, YouTube shoot set up with Mike, and now I get to spend some time with you. So this is the way I would prefer to wrap my day up anyway. So this is good for me.
Love it, man. Well, I'm super excited about having you come to the event. I wrote a little blurbish. I'm usually pretty good at recapping how I met our speakers, but like you and I, we originally met, I think, back in 2021 through Apex, and then joined WinRate together. And I still remember like that first day where I think you had signed up like a week or two before that. I had signed up like a month before that. And I think we both were kind of like, what the heck did we just sign up for?
You remember the bus?
Yeah.
Next to, yeah, right on the bus, 7:30 in the morning, day one. Like, no idea what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Some days we still don't know what we're doing, but at least we're a little bit further along on the path.
That much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always look back to like moments like that and just like how things have transpired, because not only did you have a massive transformation in that year, you became a coach at WinRate and started making some really big pivots, both personally and professionally, but then come to it last year, the year starts, and then I kind of fumble my way into being a client of yours, right?
Yep.
So like the year started and that wasn't the plan, but everything happens for a reason. And you and I got to work together last year. So I know like what I'm excited about is a lot of the people, especially the sphere that like maybe doesn't know who you are or doesn't know who WinRate is, for example, or they haven't seen WinRate in action, is I now get to bring that to St. Louis and be like, hey, this is the person that I learned from and was coached by all of last year, twice a month, every month for 12 months, quarterly in-person events and things like that. So I'm excited about that, because I think when we can start to get more people exposed to not only yourself, but obviously now I'm on the WinRate team too. WinRate's going to be sponsoring the event. I'm really excited about that, man.
I told you as it was happening that it was incredibly exciting for me as well. Like the whole thing, you being on the team, and now us like supporting your event as you're building this stage and like helping all these people. And I'm pretty sure I saw the other day you're up to like 900 plus members.
Yep.
In the group on Facebook. Yeah, it's just like watching you make this impact is awesome. What's really, I think, like really cool for last year though, like our coaching, you did stumble. It really was a stumble into both you being coached by me and me like getting the opportunity to have you as a client. But like, dude, like last year's coaching was just like not at all what you expected it to be. Like, yeah. The trajectory of your life and business and like father, like your growth was has been awesome to watch. And so like I'm very excited to come to your event with your brand and get to represent WinRate in the process.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I couldn't have done it without you just being a guiding force. And I think that kind of transitions in a little bit. I know we were kind of talking a little bit before about what we're going to talk about, but I think this is a good topic of like just investing in yourself. So being in the rooms, going to the events, hiring coaches, in leaning on people like WinRate. So what has just the self-development, the self-investment space, if you will, done for your trajectory, not just as a business owner and an entrepreneur, but also personally as well?
Yeah, so like it's actually really easy to like take the business part out of it, because one of the things I sort of realized over these past couple of years of getting coached at a higher level is business is relatively simple if you allow it to be. It's the personal side that's really, really challenging for most of us, and it's how do I run a business and be a husband, and like how do I run a business and be a good parent, and not even just like be a good parent, and then like how do I how do I coach myself into knowing I am a good parent? Because there's people who are going to be like watching this or think like who are good parents. And the problem isn't that they're not good parents. It's that they have no idea how to have the confidence and count the wins and like know they're good parents and like believe in themselves that they're prioritizing. And so for me, like I would say the personal side and obviously like healing and working through the personal side as that has made the biggest strides in my professional life. That's what's created like, like I'm out of contracting completely. Like I'm out of the contracting industry and business, like full-time coach, full-time director of revenue for WinRate Consulting now. And like that never would have happened had I not evolved into and continue to evolve into the man that I'm capable of being,
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, that's, and I've obviously seen like the full, like in the last couple of years, like seeing the full circle come to where it's at today. So equally as cool for me as just like your friend, but somebody that was being coached by you, seeing that transformation, seeing what, everybody thinks coaches have it all figured out. Everybody thinks that like people that are way ahead of them have it all figured out. And I know Mike talks about it a lot, like, him specifically, like he's got a team on the coaching side of a bunch of other CEO visionary type minded people. And so it's this ever evolving thing that like new levels, as they say, are going to bring new devils and the problems don't necessarily stop. Sometimes they intensify and get bigger and the stakes are higher. But I think as time goes on, we just get maybe not better, better could be used, but we get more comfortable dealing with that uncertainty, dealing with those things. It never entirely goes away, but our experience outweighs who we were trying to deal with this problem or sets a problem this time last year.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's almost like our pain tolerance increases as we get used to dealing with it. And really, as entrepreneurs, like accept your job is now to have a high pain tolerance for problems. That's like your whole full-time job. Yeah. And I know that's like hard to accept. No, like coaches, like my ability to help you increases every time I fail. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to go fail harder, fail faster, fail worse, and recover from it. And I take that as why I'm qualified to help somebody because I'm willing to go fall on my face harder. My wife puts it hilariously. When humans were learning to eat berries, somebody had to pick the poison one to save the rest of the humans. Somebody had to eat the poison berry to qualify what a poison berry was. And so no, coaches don't have it all figured out. But they are ready, willing, and able to figure it out in front of you to help you. It's just like the same thing you're doing, man. Like with your stuff, like you went and like figured it out, not by having countless perfect wins, but by having a bunch of stuff go wrong and then being like, all right, I'm going to help somebody not do that. I'm going to help somebody not do that. I'm going to help somebody now do this. But that can't happen. Like if you don't get in the room, like go to an event, get in an ecosystem, learn how to speak to people and connect with people. And like, you kind of feel like you're on an island and alone forever. Right?
Oh yeah. No. Well, it's one of those things. I was actually on Mark Z's podcast today and he said, man, like you're on the completely other side of the spectrum of like the self-development space. When I was 3 weeks full-time into entrepreneurship, that's when I joined Apex, and not just Apex, but like the middle tier group. So like, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you want to put it, like, I don't know what it's like, let's just say, to like go years without doing this stuff, where I know some people that are coming to the event that this is going to be like their first event and they've been in business for years. Or they're thinking about coming, they're thinking like, hey, maybe this like isn't for me. They're second guessing themselves. But like, that's just a true testament to like, when you show up and do the work and you try to figure things out in a group of people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I've had, for what I feel like is, I don't consider so much success, but a lot of success in a shorter period of time, because I've been able to condense that time by like learning from people like yourself.
Yeah, the time compression is huge. And so I'm on the other side, and I spent years and years and years doing it on my own, and not even from a resistance to help, an ignorance to the fact that help exists. Like, I wish I knew there was events. I had no idea. Like, I didn't even have an Instagram profile until like 4 years ago or something. Like I was so like removed, and I'm not an old person. Like I'm 32. Like I'm not an old guy.
Yeah.
I was just old school, and I just didn't I didn't know. And so like, I know that people like they're scared of going to events. People often feel like they aren't like, who am I to be here? I won't fit in here. All these other people are so much more successful. And like, one of the coolest realizations I had is like, even the guy on stage, like, is not that far removed from me. Just figured out some things that like I haven't yet. And this is my opportunity to learn from them. Like, no one's better than you. Like, no one's trying to like hurt you. No one's looking down on you. Like the events I've been to some event, but like your events and our events and like the ones that are truly aimed at helping somebody grow and be better, man, it's like, and you know this because we went through this on that bus, man. And like, we got to that event. It doesn't take but 30, 60 minutes to be like, oh my God, I'm in the right place. And take like that deep breath and decompress and let your shoulders drop and be like, damn, like, I'm so glad that I don't even want to go home now. Like, I'm comfortable here. Right. And like, but you got to fight through some of that anxiety and that fear. And like, you got to buy that ticket and you got to take that trip and you got to show up and like, you got to take that risk on new relationships if you really want to like get to the next level, because you only know what you know and you don't what you don't.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Before we get into your talk, we got a question coming in from Sebastian. How many push-ups can Sam do?
I have no idea, but I'll do them for you at the event if it makes you happy.
I like that.
As many as it takes. That's my answer. As many as it takes.
Love it. So talk to us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about at the event and what you're excited about. I know, and I put this in the post, is we're going to be talking about a lot of different tactics, a lot of different strategy. We're going to be talking about leveraging a team and then like the nuts and the bolts that you need in order to obviously go and build your personal brand or the brand of your business. And I thought there's no better way than to have Sam finish up the day when our heads are like exploding, realizing that we need to figure out, obviously, you know, where to go from here. So fill us in a little bit about what you'll kind of be talking about and walking us through.
Yeah. So the intent of my stage time is going to be to help everybody in the audience learn to prioritize the responsibilities that they have in their lives. And there's going to be so much, I know you very well. And so like, I don't even have to be at the event to know there's going to be so many tactical takeaways in this day. Like, this single day is going to provide so much good information. And my intent is to help you break it down and prioritize it properly, get your initiative list set up, and make sure that you don't go home and over focus on these 12 initiatives and ignore your family in the process. And not so like, my job is to help you prioritize what's most important and like reverse engineer action steps to actually get that accomplished. Because I have left events with full notebooks and done nothing. And I have left events with 2 keys and changed my entire life. And so my goal here, Sam is going to be the only thing I was going to rate it. Yeah. Between his talk and happy hour. Perfect. So my intent is to simplify things. That's my intent. Caleb wants win hats. Maybe I can make that happen. Let me see what I can do.
Love it. Yeah, and I think that decompressing stage at events is probably one of the biggest things I see people struggle with, is that they go home, and even if it's just one talk, right? Whether it's your talk, my talk, somebody else's talk, and they're like, Adam or Sam said 5 things. I need to go implement 5 things right now when I get home. It's like, no, like I tell everybody, take all the notes you want, understand that this is going to be a process, but take 1 or 2 things and ultimately make it to where you can go and take action immediately on those 1 or 2 things and be successful with it. And then once that makes the impact, once that makes the needle, you know, move a little bit, then that's when I'm adding on more things. So that's where I think people struggle with the most. That's why I'm excited to have you kind of full circle, close everything out, bring us all together, and make sure that this is an event that's just not another event, but the event that changes the way you do something.
Yeah. That's that. Well, thank you for helping me sum up exactly what my intent is at the end of the day. But no, you're exactly right. The mission of coming to the event is to leave with 1 to 2 things that will move the needle forward for you. That's the goal. And so my job at the end of the day will be to help you figure out what those one or two things are, and then reverse engineer. Ooh, look, I got my little thumbs up here. And then reverse engineer how you can actually take action on those weekly, monthly. I just might, Sebastian. I've done it. I have done it before on stage. I just might.
Love it, man. Well, any last pieces of advice to somebody that's like on the fence, that's like, hey, I'm not sure if I can take time away from my business? I know we hear that all the time, even in the WinRate community, where they sign up and they're like, but I don't know if I can actually take time away from my business. Or if they're like, I don't understand what the return on investment is going to be. What would you say to that person as we wrap it up?
I would probably say, I'm not sure that you can afford not to take time away from your business. Unfortunately, and I don't mean this to offend anybody, but if you already knew what you didn't know, you wouldn't be where you're at. And so my suggestion is come to the thing, because the truth is, because I went through this myself, you already know you need to be there. You already know there's more to learn. You already look up to Adam, or you're not even thinking about going to the event. And so you've got all these people you admire and trust, and you're allowing this fear of not fitting in to stop you from going. Because you already know there's an ROI. We usually do. We use money as the excuse to justify the fear of taking action more often than it's I can't afford it or I can't take time away from my business. Because the same person saying I can't take time away from my business has been praying for time away from their business for months or years. So take the opportunity and come hang out with us and see what we can do for you.
Love it, man. Well, I'm super excited. I know it's going to be a great time, not just the event, but you closing down the event, the impact that you're going to make, man. So thank you. Thank you to WinRate as well for sponsoring the event, and looking forward to it. Well, I'll actually be seeing you next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. So appreciate you, man. And we'll talk to you here soon.
See you soon, man.
All right. See you, man.